I know it's aggressive, but I'm going to do the next one, which is a feed forward. But these will work as a combination. Because even if you try to set the goal, if you dwell on the past, it's hard for you to move forward. And it is so simple thing. So if you want to kind of make the screen bigger, try to do it so that you can see what on the presentation. So it's very simple. What do you want to do? Is the key question of the feed forward. And it's a big open question. So what do you want to do about what? So it's all up to you. So my question to you is, what do you want to do? And you have various answers, and all are the answers, correct answers for you. And important, because you don't come up with an unimportant one when you are asked. The idea that popped in your mind is already an important one. And I have some explanations here, and probably you'll be able to see over the video later on. So let me kind of go through it quickly. So feed forward is a set of communication skills to help others pay attention and more on the future and focus so that they can build on something that is ahead of them. And we can utilize the questions to help others see their future. And it's like this: what are you going to do next? Which I have already talked. And like this one, what is your plan after COVID-19? I don't know when it will be after, but someday it will be kind of we will overcome it. And shall we go out for dinner? Of course, this is a simple one, but it still is a word that helps other people look at the future, because we don't go to dinner in the past. It's always in the future. And there is some word that I want you to remember now so that we can move on to the exercise smoothly. 2 words. First one is the forwarder. Forwarder. This is a person who does feed forward. Does feed forward means asking the question or helping, urging people to look at the future. But particularly in this case, it's about asking the question. What are you going to do next? This question will be asked by the forwarder first. And the receiver is the person who receives feed forward. The forwarder will ask a question, what's next, what are you going to do, and the receiver will answer. This is a simple kind of a structure of the feed forward. Of course, there are some advanced ones, but in the beginning, in the workshop, we are going to do this. And there are some explanations. So this could be applied to anybody. Like you may want to coach or be a consultant for your boss or a senior person or your wife or husband. It's going to be difficult, right? Of course, it's going to be difficult. But feed forward is applicable to anybody. You can use it for even to your father, to your wife, husband, or your boss, because it's not about kind of coaching, consulting, guiding from the upper perspective, but it's just about what's in your future, what's coming next. So it's easy and could be used, but this is a kind of a cornerstone, basic thing for the coaching that I'm doing to the executives, and also I have a kind of a top athletes and kind of a top artists, but they all start with this feed forward. And what to say, as I mentioned, any conversation that you make is feed forward. But we particularly start with the question because that's the easiest thing. Well, it works like this, and there are two effects. Number one is, of course, I will do the feed forward to like you, and you've been asked about the future, like what's your next plan? You start speaking about your future plan, and you'll be happy. You see the happy thing, it shows happy face, and that's the first effect. But the other thing is that this one, it comes back to you. The reason is our brain does not necessarily differentiate your questions, whether that is asked to other people or to yourself. Because what are you going to do is a question that I can give to you, but it could come to me. What are you going to do to myself? So it means that the more you do a feed forward, more you ask questions to other people, you are doing feed forward to yourself. And of course, when a person who is asked, being done, kind of somebody receives the feed forward, becomes positive because they talk about the future, which means that you ask your question to yourself, you become more positive. And if the next person likes it, okay, I love feed forward, and she starts doing the feed forward to people around him or her, then the second effect, of course, first one occurs, but the second effect comes back, and it will help the entire team or a group or organization. This is the mechanism how it works. So we are going to start the exercise, right? So there are several questions that I mentioned. So what are we going to do next? And what's after COVID-19? Or shall we go out for dinner? Of course, we cannot ask you to go out for dinner. And COVID-19, maybe it's too big. It's different by country. So let's focus on the first one. What are you going to do next? What next? It's up to you. You can answer to whatever. And you just need to feel, this is a workshop that comes after doing this, but probably the time limits us to do this. But we could write down what you feel and think about how the impact was. But this time, we need a pair of people. So I have to kind of create the breakdown out room different from the original one. Okay. And first I have to, two of you in the room have to decide the forwarder and the receiver. I'm going back to the screen and showing the basic rule, the forwarder and the receiver. So you discuss and decide who is going to be the forwarder and who is going to be the receiver. And in this interval, I will give you 3 minutes. One forwarder will ask a question and the receiver will answer to that question only. And after that, I bring you back to the room and ask you to switch. So during one session, you don't need to switch. You just focus on being a forwarder who is asking the question and being a receiver who is answering the question, answering what to do next. And I bring you back and then you switch, and then we start the next one. I know it's going to be a bit complicated, but I think we can do it. All right? Let's try it.
Anyone got questions?
Sure.
Anyone got a question?
Okay, you have a question?
Know what to do?
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah, let's try it. So just the forwarder will ask a question about what are you going to do next. The other person, maybe you, of course, most of you have seen each other, met each other for the first time. I know it's hard, but you say hello and what you're going to do next, and the other person can answer about what you're feeling, what's your plan, and just feel how it goes. All right? And if you have 3 people, please kind of one person listening and waiting. So for that sake, okay, let's try it. I'm gonna start this. Okay, so I am, thank you for coming back, and you need to go back into the room and exchange the role. So forwarder will be the receiver will be the forwarder. And so I'm going to restart it, okay? So please exchange the role and take another 3 minutes. So those who are waiting, if you see the screen, you will see that feedforward works in 2 ways. It works for other people, but also it works for yourself. So the second one, that is very powerful, that it works for yourself. Thank you all for coming back. And feedforward is about, asking to other people so that they can see the future, but it also works for yourself. This is so powerful. And it also is related to the previous learning. It is also related to the previous learning, which I have presented. I'm going to use a whiteboard, so maybe please, if you can, open up, make it bigger so that you can see. You see here that there's a present and past and future here. And so because our brain is not capable of looking at the two things at the same time, which means that if the question channels you to the past, you'll be kind of stuck here. This is the kind of a mentality that's dwelling on the past. But if the question brings you to the future, your mind will be kind of focusing on this one. So we can't focus on two things at the same time. We can only focus on the future or the past. And there are many elements in the future, of course. Of course, there are many in the past. But it's all up to you to select which. And you can do this to yourself, but this works to yourself and also to other people, so why not do it to both? That is the simple idea of self-talk. I'm switching back to the slides, and this is what you have experienced. So I don't have enough time, but if anybody can share your experience about this one, feed forward, please unmute your microphone and tell what you have experienced or thought. Anybody?
Yeah, I can.
Sure.
Someone else? Yeah, so it was actually felt really nice sharing what you're interested in and something that's important. Made me feel happy to see that. Made me feel sharing that passion with someone or sharing that interest with someone. I guess it makes it more real.
Yeah.
Because you're bringing it to life through the words and describing it. And,
excellent. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's a very positive feeling because it's just next. It's not the big, hairy, scary goal. It's like, well, it's just this big next to do it. Yeah.
Sure. Thank you very much. Indeed. So the kind of magic of this is it doesn't have to it doesn't have a pressure on yourself. You just speak something about your future, and it kind of starts the rolling stone that becomes a initiative for you, or something happening in your mind. All right. I can hear from somebody else. Does anybody want to share about this one?
Yes, I want to share.
Okay, Rika, please.
Yes, my forwarder was Penelope, and I kind of talked about my future business. Still I just kind of had an outline, but her way to kind of question it, I need to go to more forward, more bigger, and more kind of yes, I need to do this. I kind of feel like okay, I should do that. She really kind of moved me forward. So that was so good feeling and feel like, yes, I will do it.
Yeah.
Great the feeling.
Yeah, it's like that. Thank you very much for sharing that. So sometimes it happens like that. It works like a kind of idea coming up and you can't stop speaking. And that is one mechanism. And sometimes it's kind of, what about the future? Well, it's kind of people stuck. But it's okay because it happens occasionally. So you sometimes kind of feel a lot of ideas coming in, but sometimes you just stop. But whatever thing happens, the simple question that's thrown into your mind will initiate your brain to start thinking about the future. And even if you are not expressing something new, it's happening. It's happening something in your brain. So it is working. That is how it works. You don't have to worry that this didn't work that powerfully, but it's kind of planted there. All right, so I've got only several minutes to go, and I actually had aggressively tried to do one more theme, but which is actually hard for me. So I would like to go through. So there is a self-talk, which is another powerful tool